This is Art Television.
Coming up, State of Business, sponsored by...
For the first time in Sri Lanka, manage your SLT Mobitel home services with Alexa.
IWS Aviation.
New SLT Mobitel Home 4G LTE users get date offers and win valuable tab computers through a raffle draw. New SLT Mobitel Home 4G LTE users get date offers and win valuable tab computers through a raffle draw.
Good evening, welcome to the State of Business on our television. I'm Sachin Ratnayakam. Let's look at the headlines first. Sri Lanka defends itself against the narrative presented at the 49th session of the UNHRC. Facebook moves to protect Sri Lankans in high-risk professions with Facebook Protect. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa appreciated the generosity of the nations that donated vaccines directly or via the COVAX program, thereby augmenting the majority of the vaccines that Sri Lanka brought directly from manufacturers. He also communicated to the world the progress of Sri Lanka's vaccination program up to now.
Sri Lanka's vaccination program began in January 2021, shortly after vaccines first became available. It was rooted in the principles of preventing mortality, morbidity, and transmission of COVID-19 and maintaining social and economic functions while safeguarding public health goals. We adopted a risk-based approach with healthcare workers, those with comorbidities, and the elderly being prioritized for vaccination. By January 2022, every citizen above the age of 12 has been offered the COVID-19 vaccine, and uptake has been exemplary throughout the country. As of 15th February this year, 95% of the eligible population has received one dose of the vaccine, while 85% have been double vaccinated. 44% of those fully vaccinated have also been provided a booster dose. Despite the pandemic's high human cost, these measures have helped Sri Lanka contain its ravages to a large degree.
President Gotabaya Rajapaksa says that a devastating situation that could have emerged in the country was brought under control by implementing the COVID-19 vaccination program. President Rajapaksa made these observations while virtually addressing the debate on galvanizing momentum for universal vaccination, a high-level thematic debate convened in New York by the President of the UN General Assembly on Friday. The World Health Organization confirmed that as of last Friday, there were more than 428.5 million cases of COVID-19 globally and 5.9 million deaths. President of the UN General Assembly, Abdullah Shahid, and the Secretary General of the United Nations, Antonio Guterres, expressing their views at the beginning of the debate, pointed out the importance of vaccination and how different states have acted on it. During the first round of the debate, existing challenges in vaccine production and distribution, optimizing quality, improving absorption capacity and delivery rates in low-coverage countries, and ensuring supply predictability were highlighted and reviewed. The second round focused on identifying innovations and solutions needed to overcome current challenges and work towards universal vaccination.
Sri Lanka appreciates the initiative of His Excellency Abdullah Shahid, President of the United Nations General Assembly, in convening this debate. The continuing spread of COVID-19 remains a matter of serious concern for all countries. The emergence of new variants of concern remains a dangerous possibility, while availability of vaccines remains uneven globally.
UN High Commissioner for Human Rights presented a written update on Sri Lanka during the 49th session of the United Nations Human Rights Council today and will be followed on 3rd March by an interactive dialogue. Foreign Secretary Admiral Professor Jayanath Columbage, addressing a recent government press conference, discussed the preemptive measures taken to defend the nation at the 49th session of the UNHRC.
This time we have really prepared very well, and we know only there will be a written submission in the Human Rights Commission this time. So the High Commissioner has prepared a draft response or a draft report, and then they have actually shared it with us, and we have given our observation. We have given our observations on the inaccuracy of some of the data contained in her report, and above all, this report is actually addressing or asking questions purely internal domestic political nature of an independent country. So we have categorically said that it is not right to ask this question. Yes, if there are issues regarding human rights, we are ready to face them, we are ready to address them, we are committed to find solutions to these residual issues coming from a long drawn out conflict. Now, I also want to say Sri Lanka is a victim of terror twice in the recent history. First one was the nearly 3-decade-old conflict with the violent armed conflict with the LTTE, and the second one was the Easter bombing in 2019. So Sri Lanka was clearly a victim of terror. We have not supported terrorism at all. Now, a victim of terror is now taken to task by the international community or international institution. We feel it is totally unfair.
Stay tuned for more news. We'll be right back after a small commercial break.
New SLT Mobitel Home 4G LTE users get date offers and win valuable tab computers through a raffle draw.
Defying gravity doesn't define an athlete. It's the connection, a rhythm of consistency, the heart rate that makes life a sport.
With decades of precision comes a partnership between man and technology. Stay well connected at home or on the go with SLT Mobitel.
New SLT Mobitel Home 4G LTE users get date offers and win valuable tab computers through a raffle draw.
Welcome back to the State of Business. Foreign Minister Professor G.L. Peiris attended the Ministerial Forum for Cooperation in the Indo-Pacific held last week in Paris. The minister stressed that trade and investment are important to Sri Lanka and throughout the course of the forum engaged in several sideline meetings towards this end. The foreign minister met with his Dutch counterpart and discussed several areas for cooperation. These included dairy farming, horticulture, agro-based industry, tourism, higher education and the Erasmus scholarships, and cultural cooperation including heritage sites and artifacts. He also met with the France-Sri Lanka Friendship Group in Senate of the French Republic and thanked the French senators for their sustained interest in Sri Lanka. The group was presented a brief on Sri Lanka's economy, development and reconciliation activity, and a vigorous question and answer session followed. The France-Sri Lanka Friendship Group is to visit Sri Lanka next month. Next, the Minister Peiris held talks with the Commissioner of the EU for International Partnerships on strengthening partnerships in value-added exports such as garments, teas, spices, fisheries products and gems and jewelry. The talks with EU Commissioner also covered bringing investment for the hospitality, IT, food processing, power and energy and pharmaceutical sectors. Finally, the Foreign Minister met with the Minister Delegate for Trade and Economic Attractiveness at the French Foreign Ministry to discuss expansion of economic relations in many sectors, and a MOU was signed. This was followed by meetings at the French Chamber of Commerce. They focused on connecting French and Sri Lankan companies and obtaining French education expertise in entrepreneurship, business management and related subjects. Director reforms at the Ministry of Justice Madhushanka Dissanayake during a recent government media conference addressed the issue of raising public awareness on the law. Director Dissanayake communicated that while law studies at the school level can provide a helpful basic understanding, making minor amendments to the legal system can help bridge the gap that exists between IT and the public.
මේ නීතිය කියන්නේ ඊටාම් පුළුල් ශ්‍රේෂ්ඨයක්. අපිට නීති උපාධියක් කරත් පශ්චාත් උපාධියක් කරත් නීති පිළිබඳ ආචාර්ය උපාධියක් කරත් අපිට කවදාවත් මේ නීතිය කියන පුළුල් මේ පහ සාගරයක් වගේ නීතිය සම්පූර්ණයෙන් ඉගෙන ගන්න බෑ. නමුත් අර ප්‍රවේශය තිබිය යුතුයි. හර්ෂ මං හිතන්නේ මේ ප්‍රවේශය ඇති කිරීමට පාසල් අධ්‍යාපනයෙන් හොඳ අඩිතාලමක් ලැබෙනවා. නමුත් ඒ වගේම අනිත් පැත්තෙන් ඒක මං හිතන්නේ දීර්ඝකාලීනව ප්‍රතිඵලයක්. නමුත් කෙටි කාලීනව අධිකරණ අමාත්‍යාංශය වශයෙන් මේ ප්‍රශ්න විසඳුමක් වශයෙන් අපි හඳුනාගෙන තිබෙන්නේ හර්ෂ මෑත කාලයේදී අපි ඊටමත් පුළුල් ප්‍රතිසංස්කරණ වැඩපිළිවෙලක් ක්‍රියාත්මක කර අධිකරණ අමාත්‍යාංශයේ වශයෙන් එහිදී ප්‍රධාන අංශ කිහිපයක් කෙරෙහි අපි අවධානය යොමු කරා. එකක් තමයි අපි ප්‍රධාන වශයෙන්ම හඳුනාගත්තේ මේ මහජනතාවත් මේ යුක්තිය පසදලීමේ ක්‍රියාවලියත් අතර ඊටා දුරස්ථභාවයක් තිබෙනවා. ඒතර මේ දුරස්ථභාවයේ හේතුවෙන් මහජනතාව මේ යුක්තිය පසදලීමේ ක්‍රියාවලියට ඒ වගේම තමන්ට යුක්තිය ලබා ගන්න තිබෙන ක්‍රමවේදයන්ට ඒ අධිකරණ ක්‍රියාමාර්ග වේවා විකල්ප ගැටලු නිරාකරණ කිරීමේ ක්‍රමවේද සමතකරණය වගේ දේවල් ඒ වගේ ක්‍රම හරහා යොමු වෙලා මේ ප්‍රශ්න නිරාකරණය කරගන්න ඒ නීති ආධාර කොමිෂන් සභාව වැනි ආයතන වලට යොමු වෙලා මේ නීතිය පිළිබඳ ආධාර ලබාගෙන තමන්ගේ ගැටලු විසඳ ගන්න මේ තිබෙන දුරස්ථභාවය අඩු කරන්න අවශ්‍යයි කියලා අපි අධිකරණ අමාත්‍යාංශයේ වශයෙන් අපි මෑත කාලේ හඳුනාගෙන තිබෙනවා. ඒ වගේම අනිත් අතට මේ නීති පද්ධතියේ හර්ෂ තිබෙනවා ඊ타ත්ම සුළු සංශෝධන තමයි. නමුත් මේ සඳහා විශාල කියන්නේ මෙම සංශෝධන සිදු කිරීමෙන් අපට මේ දුරස්ථභාවය අඩු කරන්න විශාල කාර්යභාරයක් කරන්න පුළුවන්.
Facebook Protect, a higher level of protection against hacking available to human rights defenders, journalists and government officials, is now available in Sri Lanka. Facebook Protect now allows Sri Lankan users to adopt a two-factor authentication that involves the use of a third-party authentication app to protect a profile account. Facebook in a statement said that as part of their ongoing improvements to security, they are expanding Facebook Protect. They also said that the program designed for people that are likely to be highly targeted by malicious hackers, including human rights defenders, journalists and government officials. The statement also added that those individuals are at the center of critical communities for public debate and they are enable democratic elections, hold governments and organizations accountable and defend human rights around the world. However, the social media platform said that the new feature is not necessary unless the user gets a notification to join the feature. Facebook Protect allows users to adopt a two-factor authentication that involves the use of a third-party authentication app to protect a profile account. Facebook Protect will also monitor for potential hacking threats. Initially, this feature was being tested in 2018 and then expanded by Facebook during the 2020 US election. Facebook added that they will expand the program to more than 50 countries by the end of the year. This will include the United States, India and Portugal. Stay tuned for stock updates. We'll be right back after another commercial break.
New SLT Mobitel Home 4G LTE users get date offers and win valuable tab computers through a raffle draw. New SLT Mobitel Home 4G LTE users get date offers and win valuable tab computers through a raffle draw.
Welcome back to the State of Business. Colombo Stock Exchange ended on positive notes today. The all-share price index gained 470.04 points to close at 11,577.94, and the S&P SL 20 gained 194.48 points to close at 3,936.81. The turnover was 4.2 billion rupees and over 212 million shares were traded. Coming up next with foreign exchange rates. With that, we wind up today's news. Thank you for watching. See you tomorrow with State of Business at the usual time. Until then, take care. Good night.
For the first time in Sri Lanka, manage your SLT Mobitel home services with Alexa.
State of Business was sponsored by.
For the first time in Sri Lanka, manage your SLT Mobitel home services with Alexa.
IWS Aviation.